Hey everybody and welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic. We are on the Paladin today, and thank you so much for joining me and for being here. I hope everyone is doing well. What we're doing up here to the north is we're going to be looking for gooey spider legs. We're going to be going for any wolves we find because we need lean wolf flanks, we need rabid dire wolves slain, and starving dire wolves slain. So we need lots of wolves and we need potentially lots of spiders. Seasoning herbs, I'm positive we're going to purchase that from somewhere. The skeletal fiends and skeletal horrors, that quest is still like one level out of range. When we hit level 24, it'll probably be yellow in our quest log, as it is right now orange. This is a Black Ravager. Is he going to have anything we need? I don't know. I mean, we could find out, but... we could find out, but we don't have to, because we can find some other wolves over this way that are actually wolves and not Ravagers. Here we go. Let's go in on this spider. This would be 1 out of 8 for rabid dire wolves. It's nighttime here today. It's 8:30 p.m. and because of that I think it's kind of darker here in Duskwood. So I'm hoping I don't have to turn my gamma settings up. I mean, we could look at it really fast. I just don't want it to be too dark for you guys. And I know YouTube has a tendency to darken things. Let's just turn it up a little bit, just in case. It's probably for the best. I think talent-wise, we're going to continue to go into the Holy Tree a little bit with our talent points. Thinking about that as we approach level 24. Because I think we're just going to keep grabbing more points for right now in Divine Intellect. At least 2 more to open up Improved Seal of Righteousness, which will increase our damage done by Seal of Righteousness and Judgment of Righteousness. So that's the plan for right now. I'd also really like to get Consecration. That's just going to be extra damage to anything around us. And ultimately what I'd like to do on the Paladin is be able to throw out some healing. That's kind of my objective. I mained a Holy Paladin from Wrath of the Lich King onward, basically, until BFA. I kind of switched to a Beast Mastery Hunter just to try DPS. Turns out I don't really care for playing a DPS class in a raiding situation. I really like to be there as support. And I really enjoy the cadence of healing. And so ultimately I think I would probably build this Paladin into something that could heal in dungeons and potentially raids. That's also kind of my character of choice when I think about Shadowlands and the future of modern World of Warcraft. Is I think that I would probably end up on either a Paladin or a Shaman. I like being able to melee while I'm questing. That's kind of the point of view experience I like, is to be up close and personal with the creatures and the enemies that we take on. But then when it comes to group content, like I said, I prefer to be there in support and act as a healer. I really enjoy healing. So to me, you know, a paladin or a shaman makes perfect sense. A druid, also something that can kind of melee. The problem I've always had with the druid, honestly, is just a shallow one, is I kind of like to see my character. If I get a set of what I think is really awesome gear, I like to see it. And as a druid, you're gonna obviously spend most of your time in some kind of other form. The closest you'll get to seeing your gear really is, I guess if you're a healer, I don't think there's tree form anymore. So yeah, if you're a healer, you could see your gear, I think. If you're a moonkin, you could do astral form instead of being a moonkin, where you're kind of yourself, but you look like you're made out of a constellation of stars, and that's pretty cool, but you still then can't see the color palette of your gear, you know? So like I said, kind of a shallow reason. And then because if you're going to do melee, on a druid, you're going to be doing it as a cat, right? And then again, you don't get to see your actual character, you just get to see the cat. The cat models are pretty cool these days, don't get me wrong. They've done a lot to diversify how the cat and bear models look amongst the different races that can be druids. But I don't know, I really like the idea of just being able to wear heavy plate armor and have a shield in one hand, a sword or a mace in the other, and just lay down some heals and some holy damage. Like I said, the only other comparable thing for me lore-wise would be like a shaman. I feel like a shaman would be very interesting. But that's a class I have not spent really any time with. I played a shaman way back in vanilla with a friend of mine. He was playing a druid, I was playing a shaman. I think we got to like level 42 or 42 or 45. I remember being in Ungoro Crater. Was right about where those characters ended. They were actually really fun to play together as a team because they both had heals, they both had some magical damage AoEs. It was actually a fun time, a fun class combination, if you will. And that was such a long time ago. I don't remember anything about how the shaman really played in vanilla, except that I remember that I definitely had a two-handed mace equipped, which I would sometimes melee with, I think, so maybe I was doing it all wrong. I don't know. Alright, we're making progress on all of these, like, very slowly. Well, more slowly in some cases than others. There's been lots of rabid direwolves. There aren't a lot of starving direwolves that we've come across, necessarily. Here's a starving direwolf. You could argue that the reason I have a better time on the Paladin and enjoy it so much is because maybe it's an easier class to play. It obviously has a crap ton of survivability. We're wearing the heaviest armor. We have bubbles, we have heal buttons. We have all kinds of stuff that just makes it really survivable. So that could be. Survivability is really key for me. My first character that I ever got to level 60, of course, was my Tauren warrior. And I played him exclusively because I loved having just the heavy armor. I liked the look of it. I liked the idea of just being this really tanky character that could take a lot of abuse. and just deal out some decent damage. I really enjoyed that. That was kind of what propelled me to get to max level, was just that kind of gameplay fantasy. Now we found some starving direwolves. Gotta keep Blessing of Might up. It's only 5 minutes, and I often forget that it's so short. Alright, that's 8 out of 8 for the rabid direwolves. Now we are going to be specifically looking for starving direwolves. We also need to find some more spiders. If we came across some more spiders, that would be great. There's a starving direwolf back over here. We're probably just going to have to fight. Oh, well, he turned his back, so let's go around him in that case. I'm kind of curious about this cottage over there. I don't see anybody inside, but actually kind of wondering what that's about. Do we go investigate, or can we just kind of see inside from here at an angle? These are low level guys. What's over there? Is that oh, okay, it's Elwynn Forest. Probably nothing interesting. I wasn't even thinking about what zone it was. For some reason I thought it would still be part of this zone, but obviously the river is the boundary. Don't need any more rabid direwolves. I think there's 2 of them right here. Let's, maybe not. Maybe I was seeing things. We'll find out shortly. Oh, no, look at that. There is another one, but it's not one that we need. Well, we could take on this spider. Alright, starving direwolves. Where are you hiding? Probably not all the way down by the cemetery. That's true, we might have to turn around and backtrack a little bit. However, we have found somebody. The Hermit. Oh, hello, Abercrombie. Yes, this quest chain is going to go very well for everybody.
You need something?
This quest chain is the first example of your character just being proven to be kind of a dolt, in that you'll do anything for anyone as long as there's experience or reward, and sometimes you end up, well, you end up doing things you regret. You'll see. The Hermit. Elaine Caravan? Oh yes, of course, the caravans. No, nothing's wrong, but it's hard for me to go into town now. The roads are dangerous, and I'm not getting any younger. Maybe you can do an old man some favors?
Have a good one.
Yeah, sure. What harm could come of it?
What can I do for you?
Supplies from Darkshire. Sounds innocuous enough as far as quests go. Oh, What is a poor old man to do? I need some supplies from Darkshire, but the village is so far away and I am so old and feeble, I would never make the trip. Can you go to Darkshire and bring me back some ghost hair thread? You can get it from Madame Eva at her home on the Darkshire Square. Yeah, sure, that sounds, you know, totally like a completely normal request. He wants some ghost hair. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get him his ghost hair. Next time we're in town, we'll make it a priority. For now, we are going to focus on spiders and wolves. Spiders and wolves. Spiders and wolves.
That's still recharging.
Well, I was trying to be helpful, but he ended up helping us, I guess. I see a starving dire wolf, and you know what they say about wolves is they travel in packs. Hopefully there are going to be more nearby. What did we get there? Was that some kind of dagger? Yes. 87 damage, 2 strength dagger. We can't equip daggers, but it's possible we could throw it up on the auction house. I probably need to get better at doing that. But I've been saying that since like episode 2 of the warrior playthrough, so it hasn't happened yet. Well, we are done with spiders. Still need wolves. 2 more after this one. But we also need lean wolf flanks, so I guess we can get those from any of the wolves, but maybe not from the starving ones? Will the starving ones have meat on them that we would want to eat? Let's just take on this guy who's just a rabid. Maybe he'll drop some of the lean wolf flanks that we need. Nothing.
It's too far away.
Alright, that's 12 out of 12. And now we just really need some flanks, so those could probably, like I said, I hope they can come from any of these guys. But who knows what the drop rate's gonna be like. Not that great, apparently. What a crummy drop rate. I mean, I guess at some point we got 6. But then it just seemed like, of course, it came to a grinding halt, but maybe we're not fighting the right guys. Of course, we say that and then we get one, so okay. We just need to be patient. Obviously. Alright, well look at that. If we complain about the drop rate magically picks up its pace. Okay. This guy doesn't seem too interested anyway. That we're fighting his packmate. Maybe I'm just making assumptions about their alliances. Clearly he's indifferent. I'm glad because we're actually out of mana. Let's resolve that situation immediately. Alright, we've got what we need. Let's make sure we know where these turn in. So the wolves at our heels goes back to Sven's camp, right? Yeah, that goes to Sven. Dusky crab cakes, that goes back to town, I think. Or does it go over to Jitters? Why am I not seeing it? Is it a cooking quest? Is that why I'm not seeing it? Oh no, it's right here. Yeah, so back to town. And then seasoned wolf kebabs. We need to get from Stormwind. Canal District Flower Shop in Stormwind. Okay. Good stuff. First, let's run all the way out to Sven and turn this in, because I'm thinking that maybe it's going to chain into something else. And then we need to, hearth back. Turn in the Dusky crab cakes. And then we can go to Stormwind. We can just jump on a flight to Stormwind. We'll go to the Canal District. We will grab the Stormwind seasoning. That's kind of the plan. Now, how long that will take, that I don't know. But we did get level 24 at some point that I just, like, I usually do completely overlooked. And yeah, I don't really see why we don't just keep increasing our total intellect. It's gonna allow us to cast more. I could just go right down here, you know, and start increasing our damage, I guess. Let's just do another point here. Increase that intellect pool for when we get into situations when we want to do a dungeon and maybe we want to heal. I would really like the ability to feel like we could heal like a 5-man dungeon, you know? Instead of thinking that we have to go in there as DPS, maybe we could fill that crucial role and actually be of use to somebody to get a successful run out. Because we've already increased our strength by 10. So we've already contributed those points to increase our damage. I feel like it's okay if we... You'd obviously say you're going to do one or the other, right? You're either going to go in it for the damage, or you're going to go in it for the healing. You know, I can see that. Because then we have Spiritual Focus. Gives your Flash of Light and Holy Light spells a 14% chance to not lose casting time when you take damage. That's interesting for, like, soloing? But not really for group, so I don't know if I would put any points in that at all. Honestly. I want Consecration even for dealing damage. Because like I said, it's simply additional holy damage. Which, why wouldn't you want that? Unyielding Faith increases your chance to resist fear, and that'd be great for PvP. Healing Light increases the amount healed by your Holy Light and Flash. Yeah, so we would want to grab this. If we can invest at least that much, grab all of Divine Intellect, and then come down and grab Healing Light and Consecrate, I feel like that would make us a decent healer. At least for like some early 5-man dungeon content, you know? We're obviously not going to be healing any raids anytime soon. But that's kind of my plan. You might say, like, Robert, that's not the best spec for leveling. It's going to slow down your leveling. It's going to hold you back. Well, but I also want to be able to be useful as a healer in dungeons. Healing is something that I really love to do in MMOs, so... And I'm going to prioritize, you know, what I love to do over if it's the most efficient choice or path. And that doesn't mean I don't want to hear opinions. It just means that at the end of the day, I'm probably still going to do at least enough so I can feel like we can be a competent 5-man dungeon healer. And I know part of that means that we have to get some intellect gear, so... I mean, we do have some intellect and spirit, stamina strength, stamina agility. Yeah, we're kind of, you know, we're all over the place a little bit, but beginning to do some dungeons would be a good start. Sven is down here. Let's get a move on. And then I think we'd also would want, for healing, we want a shield and a one-hander. The shield's going to be something that's just going to have, hopefully, some additional intellect on it for us. Alright, we'll talk to Lars. Oh good, you thinned out that pack quite a bit. And without those wolves nipping at our heels, we can bind our minds to dealing with morbid fell. Here, take some of these flash bundles. They make them in town. And a lot have been donated to Sven to help with his cause. Calls out a pillar of fire burning all enemies within the area for 54 to 71. Okay, yeah, sure.
See you later.
And that's it. That's all he wanted us to do. So let's go ahead and we will hearth back to the inn in Darkshire. We'll turn in the gooey crab legs. After that, we're going to be thinking about a trip to Stormwind.
King's honor, friend.
And we'll get the recipe for the gooey spider cake. Very exciting. And then what does he have? Oh yes, return these to Jitters. So this is what we had to do to get what we needed for Jitters. Return to Jitters with the Dusky crab cakes.
Go with honor, friend.
And our inventory is totally full. We're not carrying anything else. Let's drop a rough stone.
Be careful.
And then let's go sell everything in our bags, hopefully.
I supply only the finest goods.
Small ichor, we don't need that. We probably aren't going to use these. I'm going to sell them for money. I hope I'm not selling things we need. I think we turned in everything that we needed. Yeah, see, we sold the lean wolf flanks. Let's not do that. There we go. Don't sell the quest items, Robert. Even when they're not marked, don't sell the quest items. See, I just vendored that thing. 3 silver. We'll see if I can sell it for more than that on the auction house. Not likely, I don't think. But I'm willing to find out. At least it wouldn't let me sell the crab cakes. So we have 2 items we could put on the auction house potentially. Alright, that takes care of our bags. The only thing to do next would be to head out to Stormwind. And we'll go ahead and we'll put ourselves on a flight. And then, let's take a look. So the next night watch is actually yellow now. We can actually do this. We need to investigate Sven's farm. That's something we can do. And then we need to return to Jitters. But let's go ahead and we'll get this one finished up. We're going to actually take a break here. I'll put us on a flight to Stormwind. When we come back, I'll have probably already picked up the seasoned herbs and have headed back. And from there, what we'll do is we'll head out to Jitters. We do need to speak with Madame Eva first back in town. Then we'll head out to Jitters. We'll check to the south to see if we can find Sven's house, and then we have to head into the graveyard to fight the fiends and horrors. So we do have quite a bit to do on the western portion of the zone. I think Sven's house is going to be down here. Jitters is of course in Raven Hill, and then for Night's Watch we're going to be up in the cemetery portion here. So lots to do. Let me know what you guys think. Any thoughts that you have on the spec that I'm planning to go with, which is mainly going to be this holy spec that will allow us to heal. I'd be interested to hear what you think about that. And anything else. So until next time, take care of yourselves. And we'll see you again soon. Bye now.